Chapter 1. In the Beginning. A chart was on the wall directly in front of the same boy. He was the only one seated in a room with one other occupant. A tall, thin man was using a teacher's stick to point at the aforementioned chart.
"These are the 3 necessary acts summarized," said the tall man.
The boy looked tired and confused. He had no idea what was going on. The recent events were still baffling and distracting him. The tall man slapped the boy across the face with the stick. The sting ended his distraction. A small cut was left.
"Pay attention, boy. The first necessity is agony. For example, I just caused you agony by striking you. I did it not only to get your full, undivided attention, but also to show you what it can do."
The man raised his free hand with one finger extended. It glowed. The glow left his hand shooting to a book on a nearby bookshelf. The book was singed, leaving a small scorch mark on the front cover. No further damage was caused. The same girl sat in a different room. One other occupant was in this room. It was a stubby, chubby man. He held a smile of delight. A chart was against the wall. 3 things were written on this chart.
"These are the 3 good acts, my dear," said the stubby, chubby man.
The girl raised her hand.
"I don't understand."
The man chuckled.
"Ah, yes, I know. You will, though. Here, look at the first one."
The man pulled out from the desk a gift-wrap box and handed it to the little girl.
"I got you a present."
The girl smiled as she eagerly tore off the wrapping. Inside was a teddy bear.
"Thank you,"
she said. The man held up his hands. A magical glow exited him, making a rainbow glide across the room in a fascinating fashion. The girl was mesmerized by the display. The man held his grin.
"Joy is the first good thing you can do. Help someone, make them smile, just like I did for you just now."
The boy frowned.
"I have to hurt people?"
The tall man laughed, a mean, callous laughter.
"No. You have options. Causing pain to others is just the simplest and easiest. Take a look at the next one. Destruction and chaos."
"Like blowing stuff up with a grenade?"
"Close. I mean, if you have a limitless supply of grenades, then yes, but that will bring you too much of attention. Follow me."
The 2 went to the window overlooking a parking lot. In this area were 2 other people that were hitting a car with a bat.
"Those 2 are students of mine. I have taught them everything I can. See how they total that machine? If that were their car, then nothing would happen. However, they stole it just to bring it here to show you. By stealing it, they have caused the owner agony. By destroying it, they are following the second method. Basically, they are charging their magic in 2 methods with 1 act."
The girl smiled.
"Wow, that's amazing. I get to help and save people?"
"Yes, we get to do so much good, and in the process, the more good we do, the more we can do. Now look at the second one. Creation and order."
"Like making a sandcastle or building with Legos?"
The stubby, chubby man burst with laughter.
"Close, Rachel, close. You could do that, but you wouldn't get much magic from it. If you build a house for a homeless man like Jimmy Carter does, is a better example. An easier one would be let me show you." The 2 walked to a window, and they saw 2 people cleaning up dog shit from a lawn. "You see that? They are cleaning up and organizing that lawn. Picking up trash is probably the easiest way we could charge our magic." The boy looked at the final line on the chart. It read, Death.
Yes, that's right, Thyme. Killing is the third and final way to replenish your magic. We'll start with something simple.
The man clapped his hands. Through the door walked a woman holding a shoebox in one hand. In the other hand was a knife. She placed both objects in front of Thyme on his desk. Her face was blank and emotionless. She opened the box. There were 2 rats, both sedated.
Allow me to show you.
The thin man picked up the knife. He proceeded to gut the rat.
Normally, you can really make your victim suffer prior to killing it off, thus maximizing how much magic you can get out of it. But I just want to show you.
He casually discarded the dead rat back in the box.
Okay, now you.
His bloody hand put the blood-covered knife directly in front of the boy Thyme. He stared at it.
Come on, boy. I don't have all day. Get on with it. Pick up the knife.
With a shaky hand, he picked up the knife, dropping it twice in the process, and then finally clutching it with both hands in order to stabilize the shaking. The woman had her arms folded, staring quietly. He brought the knife close to the live rat. He could see the thing's breathing as its chest rose slowly. The knife inched closer to the vermin. The woman sighed.
Another squeamish one. It's just a rat, boy. Kill the damn thing.
He slammed his hand on the desk. Thyme dropped the knife, cringing. He averted his eyes out of fear.
Damn it, boy!
The thin man picked up the knife. He forced Thyme to hold it while wrapping his larger hand around his, then forced the child to stab the rat, killing it. Thyme felt no magic enter him. The woman shook her head.
You idiot! He can't charge his magic if you force him to do it.
The man jerked his head in her direction.
I know!
The woman harumphed, then left the room uncaring. The girl looked at the third part of the chart. Life. Do I have to make babies? The stubby, chubby man wiped a tear from his eye as he laughed. No, Rachel, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can, but I would imagine constantly giving birth to children when you get older will get very exhausting. Save someone's life, improve someone's lives, help someone. Lots of us are paramedics, doctors, firefighters, and so much more. Saving a life is just as powerful as making a life. The man went to the door and waved for Rachel to follow. They walked into another room, one that had animals in cages. The man looked at them, trying to decide which one to go to. You see, these animals are about to give birth. We help them through the process. Helping a new life into this world is powerful. Not just humans? She asked. Nope, all life is sacred. The man shook his head. Well, it doesn't look like any of these are ready. Otherwise, we would get to it. He shrugged, then turned to Rachel. Well, that's it. Now you understand the 3 good things we thrive on. The thin man turned to Thyme, and with an annoyed voice he said,
That's it for today. Do yourself a favor and kill something. Anything.
Adulthood.
All right. Thyme, tell me about the schools of magic and how they work,
said the thin man. The young adult Thyme was slightly taller, still under 5 feet tall, and wore a dark schoolboy uniform. In this classroom setting were other students. Many students had their uniforms tattered, torn, and or worn improperly. He stood up. Necromancy, darkness, degradation, nightmares, and demonic. Rachel, please tell me the types of magics and what they do. Rachel stood up. She was also taller and wore a light schoolgirl uniform. The surrounding students all sat properly, wearing their uniforms proper. Life Light, empowerment, dreams, and angelic.
You're still young and new at all of this time. You are probably wondering why we are in this morgue.
What are we going to do with these bodies?
Sharp.
Thyme couldn't tell if that was sarcasm or not.
Yes, boy, we are here today to practice necromancy.
Aren't you worried someone will find us?
The thin man smiled, a humoring, empty smile.
Our kind do need to worry about such things. Time. We own this hospital, you know. We do not use it to charge our magic, but we do use it all the same. Most of the doctors are normal humans. Some, however, are among our ranks.
He approached one cadaver on a table.
Did you charge your magic this week?
Thyme looked away, embarrassed.
I tried.
The thin man shook his head disapprovingly while sighing.
Making me waste mine just to show you how it works. Listen, boy, if you're going to have to cross that line eventually, otherwise you're wasting everyone's time.
He paused to form his next words.
Those above me, the demons that is, they insist I teach you. I have no idea why they think you are worth it.
He shrugged.
Let's get started. Essential salts, boy.
What is that?
The most important part of necromancy. It takes time and effort to reduce a living thing to their essential salts. Doing this is a non-magical act. I'll show you how to do it with chemicals. I have a feeling you'll have to do that a lot of non-magical things. Later I'll show you how to instantly do this with the use of magic.
The two spent hours mixing mysterious liquids and obscure ingredients into beakers and flasks. Several had to be heated to a specific temperature. When the 3-hour-long process was complete, they then applied this concoction to the dead body before them. The potion covered their entire frame, but had no visible effect. The thin man wheeled the table, holding the body to the incinerator. Firing it up, he pushed the now coated body in. The door closed.
After his body is done burning, what will remain will not be ashes, but his essential salts. You will collect them.
After some time, the thin man opened the door. He pushed a glass bowl into Thyme's hands, then walked over to the other side of the room, lighting up a cigarette. The fine blue-gray dust was easier to scoop up and collect than he anticipated. No residue was left on his hands, either. Thyme walked to the thin man, handing him the bowl. With the cigarette still in his mouth, he examined the contents. He half smiled his approval, then placed the bowl on the ground.
Do you know what to do now?
I wouldn't want to guess, sir.
We can use this to raise him. That's right. The very man that was dead, we can bring back. Are you ready to do that?
Thyme shrugged.
If you say I am ready.
Do you have any questions, or do you want me to just teach you the summoning ritual?
No, sir.
Right. Well, first, you will need some magic. Do yourself a favor and go steal your lunch. In case that's not enough, bust a window from the same place.
Thyme winced, reeling at the prospect.
Boy, you need to quit your squeamish nature. If you're not willing to charge your magic, then we are done here.
Thyme walked into a convenience store. He had his hood up to hide his identity as best he could. This caught the attention of the Arab clerk. Thyme saw a small bag of processed donuts, prepackaged, ideal for taking. He felt the clerk's eyes on him. His face began to sweat. His mouth creased into a smirk. Then he gave up, pulling the hood off of his face. He took the donuts to the register.
Will this be all?
Yes, sir.
He refused to look the clerk in the face.
$1.99 is total.
All I have is a 20,
Thyme said.
It's fine.
Thyme pulled from his pocket the paper money. He placed it on the counter, then looked the clerk right in the eyes. With his free hand, he pointed to his turban.
Why did you guys cause 9/11?
The clerk was taken aback. His face contorted in confusion and anger.
I am a Sikh, not a Muslim!
He opened the register and snatched up the money Thyme placed without taking his eyes off of the boy. He took out the 1801 and practically threw it on the counter.
Get out of my store, you racist!
Thyme snatched the change and rushed out of the store as fast as he could. On his way out, he still heard the clerk ranting about how he was not Muslim and how horrible Americans were in New York with their ignorance and stupidity. When Thyme was out of sight, he smiled.
$7 profit. Not bad.
Returning to the morgue.
Did you charge your magic?
Yes, sir.
Good. We need to go somewhere more private. We're done. You and I'll take you to your next instructor. You may have heard of him, Simon Orne.
Rachel, let's go ahead and do the first magic,
said the squat man. He and Rachel were alone in a veterinary. She was holding a puppy in her hands, petting it and smiling.
I love puppies,
she said.
Ah, good. The squat man began. Do you know how we can apply our gifts here?
Helping animals?
She asked more than said. He nodded, confirming her answer.
So I noticed you have been petting that dog for some time now. Look at his face.
Rachel looked down at the puppy wagging his tail, snuggled in her arms.
Do you feel that inside of you?
He continued talking, not giving her a chance to respond.
You have brought joy to this life form. You have been charging your magic and didn't even realize it, did you?
Her face lit up, smiling.
Wow! And guess what that means?
I can do magic?
Correct. Now let's put this puppy down for a moment. Yes, I know you're quite fond of him, but let's focus on life magic. What sort of things do you think you can do with life magic?
Make babies?
The man chuckled. No, my dear. That's for charging magic using life. This is a little different. You see, today you are going to be introduced on how to focus this energy into performing life magic. This place is ideal for introducing you.
He placed a finger up, indicating she could wait there for a moment. He left, but did not take long to return. When he did get back, Rachel had the puppy in her lap again, petting it once more. He smiled, but said nothing. In his hands was a cat with a cast. Rachel returned the puppy, then looked to the squat man for instructions.
Okay, I want you to picture in your mind what is hurting this cat. You can feel it without the use of any powers. You could see it's in pain. The cast is a dead giveaway. So, what do you think is wrong with her?
Rachel leaned down with both her hands, holding her face up as she examined the feline.
Her leg is broken.
The squat man nodded.
Very good. Now I'm going to talk to you through fixing that.
He pointed at the cast.
Think about your magic that is inside of you. You can feel it in your chest. Imagine that magic leaving your finger and entering the cat.
He paused, allowing her to follow instruction. Her center mass glowed. The glow rose through her arm, exiting out of the fingertip, forming into a small ball of light that moved to the cat's leg. The creature meowed, almost scared by the light.
Good. Now focus that energy on the injury.
The ball of light surrounded the cast and seeped through. Disappearing after a moment, the light faded.
Did it work?
Rachel asked.
I have faith that it worked, Rachel. But we have to make sure. The cat will go through another x-ray, and if it works, then you are on your way, and I'll be taking you to your next instructor. Are you familiar with one Jedediah Smith?
An old mansion sat in a dilapidated area on the outskirts of the city, a suburban area that for all intents and purposes was a slum. The outside of this place was old, unkempt, and had a repugnant tone that only made Thyme want to leave. The long grass, combined with scattered spider webs and dead drooping trees, left him with a guttural sense of disgust. He turned around, considered leaving. A need to abandon this evil quest that has been thrust upon him. Standing at his car, staring at Thyme, was the thin man, glaring. Thyme turned back around, disregarding his wretched feeling. Reaching for the gargoyle-shaped door knocker, the door opened before he even touched it. He withdrew his hand, startled.
"Come in, boy,"
an unseen voice from inside said. Fear strangled his soul, making movement incredibly difficult. This place was a terrible place, and Thyme could not figure out why or how this was seizing him like this.
"I said come in."
The voice beckoned a second time. Something in that voice sounded far worse than the scenery around. Within those words was a tone of callous anger, compelling him in a dreadful way that pushed the old fear away, overcoming with a new fear of the unseen being that owned that voice. Thyme walked into the dark room. There was a light source here. It was a fire burning in the fireplace. Sitting in an evening chair with his back to Thyme was the man who could only be Simon Orne.
"Shut the door, boy. Then come over here so I can have a look at you."
Thyme did as bidden. When the man's face was finally visible, he looked young, older than Thyme, but young in general. Not a skeletal gargoyle or demonic man, but one that could not be older than 25. He looked at Thyme from head to toe, then looked back at the fire. Taking from a side table, he picked up a pipe and matchstick. Simon lit up his tobacco.
"Do you know why the demons have picked you?"
No, sir." Thyme shook his head.
"No one ever does. Some think we are chosen randomly. Others think it is part of some cruel joke."
"Well, why was I chosen?" Simon took his pipe out of his mouth. He opened his eyes, glaring at Thyme with a piercing scowl.
"I just told you, boy, that no one knows."
He returned his glance to the fire. "The path to that knowledge will only lead you to madness. You will do yourself a favor and not give that question any thought. Do you know why he brought you here?" "Yes, sir. I was told you were going to teach me the first magic, necromancy."
"You will assist me for a long time. I will teach you little to nothing. You will observe and learn from me. You will not get in my way. You will do what I say when I say it. Do you understand?"
"So I'm your slave?"
"You are free to go whenever you please, boy. You are not my prisoner. If you wish to be a normal person living a normal life, then get out now and go do that."
Simon was quiet, giving Thyme the opportunity to leave. He waited a long moment.
"Good. You have made your choice. You are one of us. Did you bring essential salts?"
Thyme took out of his pocket a vial containing the blue powder. Orne snatched it from his hands to examine it.
"This will do."
He handed it back to Thyme.
"You are going to live here. You had better respect my home, cleaning any mess you make, keeping yourself well groomed as well. I will not have a dirty assistant. Now follow me."
The two walked down a dark hall. They passed by several rooms, all decorated with marvelous paintings, statues, and other works of art. Every room had bookshelves full of books, old and new, even the dining room. Finally, they walked into one room that had an empty shelf and only one bed.
"This is your room. Put your things here, then come with me."
They continued down the hall, walking into an empty room that looked to be undergoing some renovations. Buckets of plaster, a large hammer, as well as other tools, and even small machinery lined the walls. A large hole was plowed into the opposite wall of the entrance. Orne approached the hole. He inserted his hand into an unseen crevice. A click sound was heard, and the hole was revealed to be a doorway leading to stairs going down. Orne held his hand out to Thyme, stopping him from entering.
"There is a spell I have placed on this entryway. Only myself and those I add to the spell may enter without experiencing nausea effects. An unwanted intruder would pass out. Their memory would be wiped, and the passage would be sealed until I reopen it with a different spell."
Orn pointed at the door, making a strange gesture with his hand, while his other hand continued to point at Thyme, making the same gesture.
Yog Sothoth Nagui Pastel Yog Sothoth.
His hands glowed with magic, briefly, then faded back to normal. Orn walked into the secret passage. The stone passage descended down into a subterranean place. Everything was stone here, as if carved from rock. After time passed through, the door closed by themselves, returning to its previous position. Torches along the walls lit up automatically as they passed them. The descent was a long spiral downward. No words were exchanged during this time. The stairs ended up opening up to a corridor that split in 3 different directions. Here Orn stopped. He raised his hands together, forming hand gestures similar but different than before.
Yog Sothoth control! Yog Sothoth!
No glow appeared, but footsteps were heard approaching slowly.
Tell me, boy, if you know why our magic comes from. Where do you think it comes from?
I was never told.
You mean you never asked?
Orn didn't look at Thyme. His eyes were staring down the center corridor, waiting.
Yog Sothoth is where our magic comes from, which is why every spell invokes his name both at the end and the beginning of every spell.
Who is Yog Sothoth?
At this, Orn turned his head to Thyme, looking down at him, both literally and psychologically, with a mocking, angry glare.
You have too much to learn. I have too much work to do. I will assign you books that would teach you the fundamentals. It is my task to teach you necromancy, but if you are this oblivious to our ways, then I cannot help you.
Through the center corridor, it finally came into view. A man-shaped, lumbering thing that could not be a man any longer. It may have once been a man, but no more. This thing is to be considered a thing, and that's it. This creature's skin was a coarse, rotten green. Purulent bubbles lined all around, exposing its decay and degradation. The face of the thing had 2 hollowed-out holes where eyes should be, and no mouth existed. Yet this creature, against all logic, gave off no stench.
Joseph, guide this boy to the offering room,
Orn instructed the thing. End of Chapter 1.